on, vinyl community? Welcome to another video with the Record Spinner. In today's video, I'm going to be doing an unboxing of the Kiss Hotter Than Hell Tour 74 to 75 picture disc box set. Yes, the Kiss bootleg picture disc box set bug has bit me badly, and it is quite a descent into madness, but let alone Kiss vinyl collecting kind of is. If you are a Kiss bootleg collector like myself, you are probably aware that as of recently, there have been a number of bootleg box sets that have been coming out that focus in on a certain tour that the band had done in the past, or a selection of shows, and they come packaged in a box pressed on picture disc vinyl, and the boxes are filled with replica memorabilia, posters, tickets, buttons, booklets that are beautifully put together with all kinds of unseen photos, press clippings, text, and other factoids about the respective album that the tour was in support of. They are beautifully put together, and when you see them, you have to do a double take because it almost looks so much like official product. It's combating what Universal is doing with their box sets, not comparing, you know, both entities, but you get the general gist. Like, there is no other entity that I think is responsible for putting out these bootleg sets together than Kiss fans. And Kiss fans are such a passionate breed that when it comes to the amount of attention to detail with these sets, as you'll see in this video, it is quite astounding. And obviously, like I said, I've been aware of these for a number of years, but I never quite pulled the trigger on them for a number of reasons. Number one being, I am not a fan of picture discs. Yes, they are nice to look at, they're great for decoration, but when it comes to playback on my turntable, you know, compared to what I normally go after, which is black vinyl or colored vinyl, picture discs are sonically inferior just down to the way that they're manufactured, so I've always steered clear from them. But also, there was also the price point, and I'm not going to discuss price points here, but, you know, let's say for something like this, the Kiss Chronicles set, which gives you 11 LPs on colored vinyl with multiple shows, and with these box sets, you're getting maybe 4 shows maximum or less, they equal out to the same price. So obviously, I was getting more bang for my buck with the Chronicles box sets. But, of course, with any rabbit hole, there has to be a motive, and I have to give credit where credit is due. And I want to give a big shout out to Mellow Mats. They are a record store based in Bowling Green, Kentucky. They are the local record store for my good friend Marican over at Marican's Music. She's a part of the youngest members of the VC group. If you want to peel back and check out her channel, please go ahead and do so. We had stopped at the store when we went to Nashville. It was like the last stop of our little, you know, week-long adventure back in 2021. And Matt, the owner, knew that I was a massive Kiss fan, and all the times that Marican and her husband Jared had gone to the store on their own, they would send me photos of these Kiss bootleg box sets that he had that obviously I was aware of and knew all about, and it took a bit of time for me to be persuaded to get them, and Matt was a solid enough guy to make me a very generous deal on these sets. I picked up this one as well as another set, which I'm going to unbox in a different video, but if you have me on Facebook, you might already know what that is, but for the mass general public, you'll find out in a future video. So I decided at one point that it was time to pull the trigger. Marican gladly snagged them for me, sent her funds, she mailed them out to me, and when I opened up the box, I just simply could not believe that I had these sets in my collection. Just presentation alone, but also just to have Kiss bootlegs in general, because I love collecting Kiss bootlegs. But also, I do have to say, when it comes to these bootleg box sets, aside from the presentation, you have to understand what you're getting. And in most cases, these sets do include some audience recordings, some of which do sound decent, but then there's some that include audience tapes that are just almost beyond listenable at moments, so you're almost paying for the packaging. Or you might get a radio broadcast featured in and whatnot. You know, it really depends on the release. But this Hotter Than Hell box set has a lot going for it, because while this box set only features 3 concerts, this box set features every bootleg recording that circulates from the Hotter Than Hell tour. Yes, it is crazy that there's only 3 shows that circulate, but here is the crazy part. They are all soundboard recordings. That is honestly a rarity, to have a Kiss tour where every bootleg that is going around is of a soundboard source, and obviously that is, you know, superior compared to an audience recording, but it, you know, it really is subjective to how the recording was done and whatnot, but you basically get the point. So to have all the Hotter Than Hell tour recordings under one umbrella is an awesome thing. And I actually did own a couple of the shows from the tour, which I ended up trading, and then I essentially kind of bought them back to get this set. I've been babbling way too much. You probably want to see the box set already, so enough of the chit chat. Let's jump into what this video is all about. So here is the front of the box. Obviously, is a different take on the iconic album cover of the original, which I will gladly showcase here. So there's your point of reference. Uses a different band photo, and I'm sure you can tell on camera. You have this sort of aluminum, sort of mylar foil type finish to the box, which is very shiny. It gives a slight kind of mirror finish. You can see it like in the grayish circle behind the band, as well as like the stripes around the border of the box. Like, it just looks deluxe to the touch. And then you flip it over, and you have the back cover of Hotter Than Hell, and with the individual band photos, they're basically the undoctored, unedited photos that were used from the back cover. Just as a point of reference, you can see how they kind of modified the individual band photos a bit. And here you get them in their natural state here. And just for the sake of showcasing, here's what the spine looks like. So it does visually pop out on your record storage units. It is a lift-up box. And first we're going to start with the bits of memorabilia that are featured in this set. And it comes housed in this sort of folded plastic sort of folio. And first up, these are very cool actually. When it comes to some of the crazy extras that you get with these sets, it's astonishing what you get. Here we have 5 beer coasters. So we have one for the full band, and there you can see Ace has half of his makeup on because he got into an accident, so he can only apply it to half of his face. And then we have individual coasters as well for each band member. Next up, we have these sort of concert flyer postcards. So these were flyers for shows that were probably big blow-ups on, you know, paper, but they kind of shrunk them down to like a postcard type size. And here is the first one here. And all the backs of them include this sort of generic kind of postcard type design to it. I won't show it for all of them, but that's what the back of all of these look like. And here is the last one here. And then we get these sort of promo pieces. That's pretty much what I'm going to call them. These were basically large cutouts that were assembled and displayed at record stores. They're miniature versions, but you basically kind of get the general gist on how these kind of look like. You basically kind of cut out the band portion here, and you place it right in front of the flames with the Kiss logo. So that is featured here, which is very cool. And then we get to the posters. So here is a poster of an outtake from the album cover shoot. So it's the band and a various cast of characters having the time of their lives and living it up. And then we also have a cool live shot of the band performing during the tour. This is probably during Black Diamond as the drum riser's going up. So that's what you get in the sort of memorabilia folio. Now let's get to the main portion of the set, and that is the vinyl itself. And the vinyl comes in its own kind of resealable plastic bag here. Comes out like this, and we dig our way in. So this box set includes 4 picture discs, And they each come in their own individual sleeves, and obviously, since there's 4 members of the band, each member gets their dedicated sleeve. So here we have Ace here, and this first picture disc focuses on the show from the Parthenon Theater in Hammond, Indiana on October 18th, 1974. The only drawback from this show is that it is incomplete. It starts midway through Got to Choose, but it plays the rest of the way out, and it honestly does sound very solid, and it does feature a great version of She, which was performed during the early portion of this tour but was dropped later on. And each picture disc comes housed in a sort of plastic sleeve like this, and basically the artwork is the same for both sides of the printed sleeves that each picture disc is from. And as you can see, we have alternate individual band shots as opposed to what was featured on the back of the box, and these alternate all throughout the set too, so that's the very cool thing. So that is for Hammond 1974. And this is a show that I did not own previously on vinyl in my collection. So it is great to have it here for the first time. And moving onward, we have Gene on this one. And this one is for The Brewery in East Lansing, Michigan from October 21st, 1974. This show takes up 3 sides of vinyl, so we basically have the first portion here. As you can see, there's the track list, and we have different band photos here. And this show I did have previously in my collection under the title Electric Magic, which came out quite some time ago. I think it came out back in like 2012. And I got my hands on it, and then like I said, I ultimately traded it in. And here is the picture disc for that. Looks absolutely awesome. Put this back in the sleeve. And then moving onward, we have Paul on this one, and this brings together the remainder of the East Lansing show, as well as the beginning of the show from Winterland from January 31st, 1975. Now, obviously, Hammond and East Lansing existed as pure soundboard tapes on their own. With Winterland, it is very much the soundboard feed taken from the video that circulates of the show. Winterland had their in-house video crew capture the show, and the one from January 31st, 75 is the only one that basically exists and that the band owns, and the audio for that is simply a soundboard source, so it's soundboard. Sounds phenomenal. You can see the beginning of the track list there. So you can see the set list kind of evolved as the tour progressed. So as you can see, like, with the first part of Winterland, it's basically side 1 of Alive. Like, they fine-tuned the set list entirely by the tail end of the tour. And here is the picture disc for that. So it says East Lansing on this side, and then Winterland 75 on the flip side. Different photos there. And last but not least, we have Peter on this one, and this is the remainder of the Winterland show. And unfortunately, Let Me Go Rock and Roll cuts off at around the 2-minute mark, so it doesn't feature the impromptu jam. When you listen to it, there's like a funky little edit that has like explosions going off from like Black Diamond, kind of like interspersed at the end of Let Me Go Rock and Roll. It's kind of interesting to listen to, but it's here. And here is the picture disc for that. Beautifully put together. Obviously, you know, giving homages to the original cover art and swapping out all the photos and such. It's not just a copy and paste type job when it comes to this stuff. Like, it's, you know, a lot of time and effort was put into making everything as genuinely unique as possible with all the various different sleeves and everything else. So that is not it, though. We also have a book. And here is the front of the book. And just for the sake of showing, the image that is showed here is different to this one. So they're really, you know, every bit of this set is truly unique in a sense. And let's see what we're dealing with here. Get ready for this, guys. You guys are going to love this. Nice bit of text there talking about the tour, individual band shots, and then there's a group shot there. And now we work our way through from the beginning of the tour, and it brings together photos that were taken at the respective shows, including the ones that are in this set, and hell, it even breaks down some of the bootlegs that have existed prior to this set that have been released on vinyl. So as you can see, the Hammond show was released as a bootleg called 1974 with Gene on the cover. So it does give some reference to what had been released prior. And we have various photos, and then the text here is provided as basically almost like a testimonial by fans that have written for Kiss fanzines and such. So they talk about their experiences seeing the band live. You have band photos. You got Gene playing a Fender Precision bass, which is pretty interesting. That was his backup option, I believe. So you very rarely see that. And then we get to East Lansing. There's that Electric Magic bootleg that I was referencing that I did have at one point. And also I should mention I did own the Winterland show as well, but once we get to that part of the book, I'll show you what I had. Got some Polaroids, great shot of Ace. And then there's also, it looks like, some of the text could either be testimonials from fans or various reviews that were written of the band for various local publications where they played at. There's a cool shot of Ace at a hotel without makeup, which is pretty cool. Here they are playing at a high school in Des Plaines, Illinois, which is pretty cool. Did that a couple of times back in the 70s. There's Gene clapping along. That was probably during 100,000 Years. This right here is probably one of my favorite early Gene shots. Like, he just looks so menacing. I don't know if this was right before his bass solo. I'm not quite sure. It looks dark. There's Paul playing his Midnight Special. And then here we have some variations of the Hotter Than Hell album cover for various vinyl pressings. So it shows the original US pressing, the Argentina press from 1980. There's various German versions, Italy, Taiwan, Mexico, and they kind of have like minute differences. You kind of have to look closely to really point them out. Might be tough to see it on camera, but if you have the book in front of you, you'll be able to tell quite easily. More great live shots. I mean, I gotta tell you, a lot of these pictures I have never ever seen before. And it is quite crazy that, you know, when it comes to this stuff, you know, it only circulates to some extent. But here you basically get to see almost everything, pretty much. Stunning color shots of the band playing at Cedar Rapids. It's a cool kind of behind the stage shot of the band. And then this spread is another outtake from the photo sessions for the album. More great color shots of the band. And yes, I'm going page by page so you guys can see everything. And there's a little tale on how Peter Criss got busted for Valium. Then here's all the tour dates listed for the tour. Working our way further, get to Indianapolis. Ticket stubs, flyers, promotional pins. There's another great shot of Gene there. Get some other photos here. And then here we have various flyers promoting the album. We have some scans of some 7-inch labels as well as picture sleeves. And then, here's a cool one. We have various scans of the various 8-track versions of the album. Along with, let's see, is it just 8-track? Yeah, it looks just like 8-track. And here we have all of the cassette variations. I can tell you right now, I had this one growing up. I had this variation, or it might have been this one here. So it shows you the various cassette versions of the album that have been released over the years. There's the band performing in Vancouver. And then we get to colored vinyl. So there you see there's the UK 77 red vinyl. There is the yellow vinyl from the Originals box set from Japan in the late 90s. And then there's the Universal exclusive orange vinyl as well. Cool little montage of Gene spitting blood. Getting towards the end of the tour. Here we have picture discs, different picture disc versions of the album. Wow, awesome, vibrant shots of the band performing at Winterland. So I had the Alive in Winterland release on vinyl for the Winterland show, which with Electric Magic I ended up trading. Great shot of Paul there. Press clippings, tickets, it's, you know, you pretty much get the general gist of what to expect with this book in terms of the layout of everything. Breaks down every show that exists in photo form, reviews, and whatever is able to be showcased. And then there's the Hotter Than Hell Vans, which are pretty cool. And here is the back of the book, features a very awesome van shot. And then inside where the book lies, at the bottom of the box, is the KISS Army logo. And that is what you come to expect with these bootleg picture disc box sets. And like I said with this box, given the fact that, you know, all the shows are soundboard recordings, definitely gives more bang for the buck in terms of the audio perspective. But when it comes to the presentation, as you saw, it is absolutely phenomenal. So I'm curious if seeing this video is going to enable you to check out some that you might encounter in your collecting endeavors, or perhaps start hunting them down. What do you guys think of these? Please drop a comment down below. I can gladly promise you there are going to be more picture disc box set unboxings as I get them. Like I said, there's one more that I got along with this Hotter Than Hell box that I'm going to be showcasing soon. And if I encounter any more, I will show them here. So there you guys go. That is my unboxing of the KISS Hotter Than Hell Tour 74-75 picture disc box set. If you enjoyed this video, please go ahead, give it a like, and subscribe to the channel. See you guys in the next video, and most importantly, keep the records spinning.